All right. Fede, you want to start us off?
All right. I've been working on my pull request. I think one is ready for Yura to check. It's the one with the cloud task to send a task when someone upgrades to enterprise. And the other one is for the fallback model. And I just need to use the environment variable to skip like OpenAI if it's working wrong or something like that. And yeah, that's it from me. And I need to work on my presentation.
Yeah, we were discussing the modal, which I did get positive feedback when I showed it to beta customers. So I was kind of going off of feedback.
Okay, yeah, I personally don't like it, but if you got good feedback,
The feedback was good. So,
I
we'll,
like
we'll play
the
around with it
model.
as
I like the model idea if we use a command because it won't be shown in the chat. So if you do
Mhm.
like slash search and
Well,
you get a
I
model,
was
that's okay.
envisioning that we give both answers. You get a LLM response and you get the modal. So you'll see a response and it'll give you whatever that's not company related, but you also get the company related response too. So the early going, I want to show that to the beta testers, beta users, and then get their feedback as to what you have both options here. What do you prefer, and then go off of that. So it's the next few steps is really learning from them interacting with it and me also using it and interacting with it.
Okay. Yeah, just make sure that they know that they will like the question will be in the chat, but with no answer if we show the model. So that's gonna look weird.
Yeah, I agree. Um, all right, Alice, you're muted. Now you're unmuted. Now you're muted again.
What? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so um yeah, I've been trying out the different language models. I probably need some help with it. I don't know. What's been happening is first of all the larger language models like 34B, E34B, and the other one, Orca 2, just requires more hardware. So made a machine that's like more powerful to run them. But whenever I run something from Hugging Face with my Python script, it seems to not load the checkpoints correctly, and it's complaining that the weights are like freshly loaded, so it's like, oh, you have to train this, and then it starts to respond with basically gibberish. Yeah, so
Okay. Yeah. Keep digging in. I'm happy to help where I can, and then we can bring in the other guys if we can't figure it out. But I think it's from what you were showing me yesterday. It looks like it's not loading the neural net properly.
it's not loading the checkpoints
Mhm.
properly for, well, it specifically says some weights were not loaded and had been like freshly loaded. So I asked Euro for help already. So
Yeah, I read the message, but I don't know. I tried
okay.
to Google for hardware requirements for these models, and I believe it should not require so much RAM, right? You have.
So
Mhm.
yeah, what happens is that it loads the model into the RAM cache, and if and also the GPU cache. So when they don't do that, or yeah, actually, I'm not totally sure, but all I know is that when I ran it on um the hardware with less RAM and the less GPU on it, it wasn't responding at all. So
Mm-hmm.
like it just totally froze.
All right. Thanks for the
Okay.
update, Alice. Europe.
Yeah, I was working on getting semantic search to production. I've deployed everything and created all needed resources. So I'm currently testing how it works, if there are any issues, and then once I've verified everything, I'll give you a notification about that. That's
Okay,
all.
great. Let's see, on my end, worked a lot on the STTR proposal. It's like 36 pages, font size 11. I sent it over to our potential investor, and then also sent it over to Professor Chang for getting his feedback. Still a lot to do there, like multiple iterations. We still need the budget. There's for all of us, we need to have biographies. Lots more to do. References, citing papers, prior work. There's a bunch of stuff that needs to be done. So it's going to be a long, long proposal. I don't envy whoever from the NSF has to read it. Did my usual stuff, looked at people that are coming to the website, getting some good blogs that are getting some traffic. Generated 2 new blogs. One's on stable diffusion video. So now they have that out. You can sign up for the waiting list. So you can generate like small clips, which I used. I also spent a lot of time yesterday using Adobe After Effects to edit the video that you have before a session happens, before like a webinar happens. So I just took like the 4 logos. So if you see those little, right, these little icons, right? I took those icons, I put them into, well, first I upscaled the image, then I put them into Runway ML, and then I made like 4 little jumping around, laughing, having a good time. And then in Adobe Premiere, took those 4 videos, overlapped them so they fade to each other, and then made it so it loops back. So we'll have a video that loops back, and it's just the same thing showing over and over again. And then we'll overlay some music, and that music is not in this brand, so I can't share it. But it's essentially the Slack huddle music, but an orchestra doing it. So it's kind of nice. So I need to continue working on that and ramp up my video editing skills. Also had Suno AI CEO reach out. They're the ones that are doing the. Did you guys listen to that song that I generated? I also posted a video of a TikTok that's it's a custom-made song that took me like 2 minutes to generate, and then I went and made like images of the different scenes and whatnot. So that's in general if you want to check it out. But the AI for music, you know, it's just gonna like a year from now, you won't be able to tell if it's actual people doing the music or it's AI generated. So it's pretty impressive. So I might meet with their CEO and discuss their product with them. Also, we got a suspension letter from the patent office because we applied for patent late December. They then refuted it with a bunch of like things that are like spelled like Haley but not Haley, and then they also replied with like different companies are in software and they're kind of similar, but they're not really. So the suspension one was about some boating company that spells it HALI, and they do boat software. And I responded back to them saying like, hey, it's not similar. Also, it's a completely different category. We are not, Haley's not on a boat for our Haley, right? So we'll see if, and I'm doing it myself. Like I'm just using AI to generate the responses and stuff. But maybe they wouldn't be rejecting me if it was like a lawyer doing it. So But I'm not going to pay a lawyer to generate a response that I can respond to that's even more well-crafted than the lawyer would do. The lawyer is probably using ChatGPT at this point too, so I'm going to pay him to use ChatGPT. No thanks. So respond to that. It takes about a month or more for them to respond. So we'll see if we can get everything unsuspended and accepted. Otherwise, I will just keep sending him AI response, complaining about why it should be accepted. And yeah, we did budgeting for the seed round, so that's there. And what else? Did a blog on the stable diffusion stuff for the video, so that's available on our blog now. And I did some other blog about RAG, so that one's also on there. All right, and then today I'll continue on the STTR grant writing. I'll continue on the video editing, and as soon as we get our product in production, ping me. I'm happy to start testing. Some of my tests, we did see some issues, so we need to address those also. And then maybe a few days from now, I'll reach out, or probably after Thanksgiving long break here, I'll reach out to get our beta testers up and running, trying it out, giving us feedback. All right, anything else? Yura, did you want to discuss anything about the async jobs if the embeddings fail?
You and I had a quick discussion before this call, and at this point, I guess I just need to think about different scenarios myself, and then I can bring it to discussion. So,
yeah, because like one thing, when you're doing like a batch job, right? And then you gotta, for whatever reason, your instance crashes. You've just updated half the batch, and then half the batch did not get updated. So do you? Well, we're doing upsert, right? So that's, I guess that's something better.
Yeah. So like reindexing the same part many times doesn't matter.
Yeah. So it's not. I don't think it's a concern.
Yeah.
So the thing that me and Yura were talking about was if you're doing on the fly updates right now it's doing it synchronously. So what happens if OpenAI goes down, which is, you guys know it's gone down like 2 days in a row at one point. What if that API goes down, or what if the calling out our GPT-4 Turbo goes down? And so the thinking right now is we try that. If it fails, then we fire off a task that will do it. So that's kind of our fallback, that we make sure we don't miss any messages. And there's many ways to do it. You could do like batching. You get X amount of messages, and you send those over, or you do it every 5 seconds. Query for all the messages in the last 5 seconds. But I like Yura's approach of as a fallback, start doing tasks to retry for you. All right. And on that note, we are ending. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
guys.